All right, let's do a brief audio and visual check while we get things started here tonight. And you can see who we have with us over here to your right, my left. Baron, how are you tonight? How has trading been?
I'm doing all right. I'm focusing on just one account. Only using 5 micros, so I actually went to my risk settings. So Nasdaq blocks, micro Nasdaq is limited to 5. I should probably also lock these out for the day. Just do that on a daily basis. So just trading 5 micros, no matter what. That's going a lot better. It's just taking some of the pressure off, the whole thing. Just trying to show a level of consistency where, then I can start to size up again.
I like that. I mean, you've been trading really well with that size, right? Like 5 micros. I seen you posted like a $800 day.
Yeah, today? I made 800 today. I'm trying to think. Passed the combine last night, got into this account. So yeah, I'm trading better with 5 micros. It's just back to the basics, back to the entire process of it all. So
back to the beginning. Someone's saying we have terrible echo. Let me look around and see, double check everything on my end. I'm not sure where the echo could be coming from. Are you getting anything on your end, Baron?
No, I'm not hearing any echo.
That's a weird one. Chat, I'm not sure where this echo is coming from. They're saying it's just on your end?
It's on my end.
I mean, it sounds good to me. Sounds good to me, to be honest. Echo from Baron's side.
I'm
looking through here.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Sorry.
Is that better? I switched my audio source.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's see if that's better. Sounds good. Sounds good to me still.
Yeah, it's okay.
There we go. Yeah, so
because it was on my webcam mic.
Got it.
For some reason.
Well, that makes sense. Well, we got it figured out. So before we get started, let's start with our top step risk disclosure. As always, welcome to Slow Markets, everybody. And here's Baron with us. The combine counter continues. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It can change week by week. And we should all know that, and we should all understand how these markets and how difficult trading is. But that's what we're doing here in front of everybody to show it all. That's part of showing it all. See the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so there's that risk disclosure. Everything that we do go over is for educational purposes only. It is not a signals class. It is not financial advice. So let's get to it. Baron, you are short the Nasdaq. What are you looking at?
Yeah.
And if you want to walk through this trade.
I'm not liking this as much. I think I kind of want to just get out of it. But yeah, I mean, we had kind of a sell-off today off the PPI number that fully recovered. And then we couldn't really break through in PM. I was watching the Delta during PM, and there was a lot of buying activity up at these highs, and then sellers just flushed it. So looking for downside continuation on this back to these lows. See if we come back down to this low volume node that is, if I go on the 15-minute, there's a low volume. We're pretty much just bouncing between 2 low volume nodes. So, I mean, not 2 low volume nodes, but we're hitting the upper end of this volume range and then selling off from it. We're hitting the lower end, getting bought from it. So it's really just range bound right now.
Range bound.
We're kind of in the middle. So that's kind of why I'm thinking I might take this off, especially without that downside continuation off this little sell-off that we just had.
Yeah, I mean, it's range bound. I'm pretty impressed at these markets holding up so well with this a little bit of hot inflation. But yeah, market shook it off and said, whatever. I think we could still cut interest rates. We see that the Fed fund tool has not really changed by very much, and this market just went surprisingly straight back up. We had that a little bit of a sell-off, and yeah, it's I don't know what to think about it. I really don't. I'm going to switch it over to my charts, and let me show you what I'm looking at on the daily. Keep us updated on that trade. You're short or whenever you're going to get out of it. Here's this daily, and we're just kind of in consolidation mode. We consolidated yesterday. Today was kind of a consolidation as well. We're just under these all-time highs. Tonight we are showing some buyers stepping in now off those 80s. And I mean, there's not really much to do in this trade. And when we zoom into the hourly chart, just like you were saying, it's just consolidation. Consolidation. These highs up here around 960s, coming back down maybe towards these 820s. We did. This is interesting. Is when we got the data, the inflation data, the market did sell off all the way down to these 800s even, and that was basically the highs of August 12th, 10th, 11th. And so we came down. This was resistance. Resistance became support. We bought it up, and maybe we see another leg higher. I don't know. It looked like for a moment. I liked your short, where we might come down and run through these lows. Stop loss is a better entry. There's been so many times where I'd see this market make a run stops, and then rally. But it looks like we just held those 70s, and we are pushing right back up to these session highs, these Asian session highs. I know we got that nice sell-off at the end of Power Hour, the last, 5 minutes of the New York session. We sold off from 950 all the way down to 871. So that was quite the sell-off. Wonder if we're going to recover any of that. I mean, as of right now, it looks like we might cover a good portion of it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we're just going to have to see tomorrow, but I was looking for this to just have a clean expansion leg up, and this consolidation. Maybe we dip down, see another dip down, and then push up tomorrow. Potential dip down in the overnight, and then clean push tomorrow. But we'll see.
Clean push tomorrow. I'm looking at the news. I'm taking a second and looking at this news to see can anything tomorrow move this market other than it just being Friday. We have the Trump-Putin meeting. We have U.S. retail sales, Fed speaker, University of Michigan. Not really. It's kind of a light day tomorrow. And maybe it's a situation where no news is good news and we just drift higher. Could that be the case with tonight going into tomorrow and Friday? Possibly. When I woke up this morning and I seen the inflation data, I'm like, oh, I think the market might be down, a decent amount, like 1% or so. And when I checked it, and we just flatlined all day.
It recovered right off AM, and then, pretty much flat for the rest of the day.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Gold looks kind of nice for longs. I actually really like gold for longs, so I might switch over to that. We're right at the bottom of the range let me pull it up.
Yep, go ahead.
My TradingView charts. So on the 1 hour, I like how we're at the bottom of this range down here. See if we can get an expansion up off that. We bounced here previously, so I would maybe be open to longing gold here. I think it probably has a better overall spot than Nasdaq right now for shorts.
Yeah, Nasdaq's pushing session highs right now. We're up to those 908s.
Yeah. I'll back over to Nasdaq.
I'm looking. Where would be some upside targets? We're breaking out. We broke through that. We broke through it already. So some targets to the upside. Maybe we go back up and test those 950s. Can we go back up and test 950s right before we start that sell-off? The last 5 minutes of the New York session.
I could see it. I could also see this being just a fake breakout. Asia loves to do those. So.
Okay. Yeah, not a lot of breakouts during the Asian session, or at least there's not a lot of follow through. If this pushes these 911s and then turns around, but oh man, it's difficult to sell the freaking Nasdaq, to be honest. It it really is. Or at least holding on to shorts for very, very long, I suppose. We'll see.
You know, assume this is a false breakout. We'll see. If it's my stop, it's my stop.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's a pullback, I would like to get into a long playing for those 950s. That's kind of what my target would be. But we'll see. Let me take a look at gold. Let's take a look at gold. Have you been trading gold very often?
No, I haven't. There's a lot of people in my Discord who trade it with a strategy I made. I personally just don't really touch it too much. I know people who trade it and they're successful with it. It's just I haven't been.
Okay, that's that one that you were showing the other day, right? That you said that your strategy and your people who've showed in the Discord, your community has been doing well on the gold.
Yeah, so it's you use an IB from 9 to 10 p.m.
Okay.
You know, you can also use a 7 to 8 IB. I mean, they're similar, but they're slightly different. Or sorry, 8 to 9. But yeah, I use 9 to 10 because that's when the volume flows in, and that's when you see, you know, some volatility move into gold. So you look for one side to get a break and close above or below, and then you look for a retracement with a VWAP and fibs and take it off there. Just go in the direction that it's closed above or below.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you went over that. It wasn't last week. It was the week before. It was the week before that you went over that, and we broke it down, and you showed me to that detail. And it's looking good. I mean, we do have that spike in volatility coming up in about 15 minutes in gold. We see not in gold, just in these markets in general. We see a spike in volume, maybe a spike in volatility. I like long golds. That is looking pretty dang good, to be honest. Long on golds. I mean, we might get back. Maybe a long towards 3,400 might look pretty attractive to me.
Yeah, I like how it's basing. Out at those session lows from New York as well. Looks like there's some buyers slowly stepping in there.
Yeah, we held those 3370s. My target on gold. I mean, if we can break out, can we see a run back up to 3,400? That spike in volatility. I mean, we still have 15 minutes. Maybe that presents an opportunity. Like maybe we pull back a little bit and then get in long. But if we could break through these 82s, I'd say 82.3, 82.4, we might get a runner. We might catch a runner. And you know, they say, true or false? Gold an inflation hedge, chat. Is gold an inflation hedge? Well, what's your thoughts on that one, Baron?
I feel like it depends. It's like we saw a big spike up in gold because of the tariff situation recently. I think it's part of it is, but I mean, if you're really looking at inflation hedge, isn't Bitcoin an inflation hedge? Like that's the basis for why people choose Bitcoin.
I know it's a conversation. It's a long debated conversation, right? I mean, typically yes, gold, the physical gold is an inflation hedge, right? It's an inflation against a weakening dollar, or a hedge against a weakening dollar. I know cryptocurrency, that there's a very fun conversation that I've had really in depth about, you know, Bitcoin, crypto, is that an inflation hedge? And how are they correlated? Is there correlation?
When you look at the PPI number that came out, gold sunk off it. Like gold reacted negatively off it. So
yeah,
and then we rolled off the rest of the day.
That's why I asked that question, because I'm looking at gold here on a higher time frame, and like we take a look at this hourly chart, and a little hot on the inflation number, and gold kind of just sold off. Gold did not find any buyers. So I think it really depends. I look at gold as kind of like that safe haven asset. If the equities are selling off, if there's a lot of panic and fear, and maybe really high inflation, then that would make sense. I know a lot of people I know like to move their money, and it's like, okay, well, we could do the same thing with crypto. But then crypto and correlation between crypto and equities and understanding. I'm not an economist. I'm not professional analysis, again, right? Understanding the ins and outs of all that stuff. But I've never paid too much attention because it's never affected the way that I trade, to be honest. If inflation's high, I don't just say, okay, I'm going to go buy gold. I'm a pure technical trader, and I take it day by day. And if the technicals are saying, yeah, gold's bearish and gold's selling off, then there's no sense for me to say, we should buy it just because it's inflation. Because I've been in some very bad positions with that thought process.
Yeah, I mean, I think just based off, we got a decline in CPI. PPI jumped, which is producers. So, that's kind of what you expected, like producers to be eating most of the inflation off these tariffs. And, the job market didn't really see a spike in unemployment claims. NFP's down. It's most likely we get a cut, but I feel like the market's in kind of a weird spot right now because
the Fed watch tool shows it was still above 90%. I think it's still at like 92% we get a cut. Like the market just shook it off like it was nothing. Now maybe if we get a few inflation data readings in a row, that might be something to consider. But CPI last month was elevated. CPI last month was 0.1% above expectations, but the 3 months prior to that, it was 0.1% below. And then this month it was 0.1% below. Interesting. It's always interesting to think about this stuff, how it affects the markets. But then how much relevance does this have when it comes to our trading? My answer is 0. Does this affect how I place my trades? No, not at all. Gold is starting to break out to the long side.
I think for me, it might not be relevant on a per trade basis, but it gives me a bias on higher time frames.
Correct.
So I might be more likely to look for longs if we're getting a rate cut or something like that.
I could get with that. Yeah. Higher time frame, that would have more of a factor when it comes to maybe some longer term trades. I do a lot of options, and usually it's just the long side because I'm a firm believer that every dip is a buying opportunity. In the equities market, especially like the Qs, Nasdaq, right? Markets are designed to go up. It just keeps going up. We keep hitting all-time highs. And I try and remind myself of that whenever I short this market. And I just say, I've seen more all-time highs than I've seen all-time lows. This market is very bullish. We go up. But sometimes I find myself in a short that I don't want to get in. And I end up freaking taking losses, even though that it shouldn't really matter too much on a day-to-day basis. It's just this zombie rally that this market could get into that once you're in it, it's hard.
We saw that all of July, right? It was just slow grind up of the highs. And honestly, that was like, I hated July. I hated trading in July. I might just take it off next year because that's when everyone else is on vacation. So
there's some people that do. They're just like, hey, I don't want to trade in July, so I'm just going to take it off. There's no sense of me, fighting the summer doldrums in like very low like a volatile environment. But then last year we had the carry trade at the end of July, and man, that shook these markets up. That was the exact opposite of what we've seen and seeing this year. We're getting a little bit more volatility, but nowhere close to what we had last year.
Dakota, on that carry trade dip, I bought some long dated Amazon calls.
Okay.
On that dip, they were like a month and a half out. I bought them at the money. They went 10 points in the money, and I got break even on the trade.
It's all
because of the implied
theta.
volatility.
Yeah, all the theta. Options can be difficult if you don't understand that.
It was the Vega. It was the Vega that crushed it.
All the volatility.
Yeah, because the volatility just dried up and the contract went from being worth a lot to,
Oof.
I mean, it was worth the same amount when I sold it, but I was like sitting and I'm like, Amazon's gone up $10 since I entered this and I'm at break even. I'm just going to close this.
It's messed up, huh? That's why for new traders, I love recommending futures because it's kind of straightforward and you could simplify it down to, hey, you do some analysis. If you think the market's going to go up, you just buy it. If you think it's going to go down, you sell it. Something very simple and straightforward. But look at gold. Gold is starting to break out now. I'm watching. We're holding above 82. We still have about 8 minutes to the top of the hour. I'm going to practice patience in this. Like I told everybody last Wednesday with Coach Jay last night. I am going to try my best to practice extreme discipline, Baron, where it comes to my XFAs. Whenever I'm live on air and I'm just doing analysis and I might be, reviewing and doing this, I'm going to make sure I have my practice account on here. I'm not going to be tempted to overtrade. If I see a good trade setup, I'll switch it to the XFA. I'll take the trade. But until then, it's practice. I'm not going to tempt myself. I'm not going to have the audience, you should take a trade or, ooh, this looks good. I'm going to jump in it. Because after reviewing, where it's like, go back to square one, that was a big part where I'd be sitting here in front of the charts. I'd be talking with, Coach Jay. I'd be talking with the audience, and I see something that's a good setup, but it wasn't like an A+ setup. It was something that, okay, this looks like it's going to work out. I ended up placing the trade and then getting myself in a bad position. So as much as, I know maybe a year ago or a few months ago, I probably would have already been long from like 82, 83, and I would continue to do further analysis and look back. I'm like, man, I should have never taken that trade. That was dumb. I kind of just got, in the heat of the moment, right? Chats here turning into, my biggest fan right there, McLovin. Always here showing the support.
Yeah. We are doing combine counter, so it's just being open about it. I'm on 26 now.
You're on 26?
Yep.
It's a lot of pressure, man. It's a lot of pressure. I need to...
I kind of started out and I just fucking ripped it where I was just trying to pass them as quickly as possible and just trying to rush it. Now I'm just going one at a time. So just showing this one account. If, I show 2 weeks of consistency, I'll go get 5 more or 4 more. But yeah, it happens. And I think that's kind of what I needed to realize is I just need to slow down because I'm going much too quickly and shooting myself in the foot.
I might be doing that too, Baron. I know the first week where I jumped into 5, and now we talked about this before. The combine counter, the copy trading is a double-edged sword, right? Where if you copy trade, even though you're placing one trade and you're managing like one account, it's times 5. So my very first try was, I struggled and I took that loss in a week and a half, but it was times 5. So we counted it and we're counting everything, right? And then, combine counter at 5. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to, take a step back, reset. Let's get 5 more. I'm going to, size down. Make sure I understand, hey, we have this trailing drawdown. We have this or this. And then I passed. So, I'm on 10. I have my 5 XFAs activated. And so
your combine stats were really clean too.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I was pointing this out to my VIP team is my combine stats were very unrealistic. It's kind of like, hey, feels like I was like on a hot streak for that week. And then as soon as I activated my XFAs, my very first trade was a loss. And then I reviewed it. I'm like, I was going to take this trade in my combine. And my next trade, it was a loss. So I'm down $1,400 in my XFAs. But that was the thing. And this is why I have a difficult time switching accounts, because you don't know which account you're going to have a winning trade on. You don't know which account you're going to have a losing trade on, because it's statistics. If you say have a 60% win rate Out of 10 trades, 6 of them are going to be winners, 4 of them are going to be losers. And if you're switching accounts, you don't know which account you're going to have the winners in. You don't know which account you're going to have the losers in. I think that's what happened to me on Wednesday. I had an amazing short and I passed my combines. Then I activated them. And then first trade lost. I'm like, damn it. Those statistics in my combines were amazing. But now we're kind of reverting back to the mean. And the XFA took a hit on Wednesday.
Yeah. I put 3, or this, I guess, is the 4th XFA. So I'm just going to keep the one account, go for 2 weeks with 5 micros. I talked with JD. I've been talking to a lot of people. Between my roommate, JD, some other people as well. And they're all telling me the same thing. It's like, slow down. Like, okay, slow down. What's funny is JD's dad was my coach when Topstep had phone-in calls.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah. So it was Jack was my coach originally. And it was the same thing. The same thing back then as it is now. And it's okay to take a step back and then readjust, because I know if I can do this, if I can get through 2 weeks of small size and show consistency, then once I do hop back into larger size, I'll be killing it.
Yeah, I like that. I know a lot of issue with me is practicing what I preach. Last season and a little bit of this season too is talking to the VIP members saying, okay, you're getting ready to do the VIP season. The first thing you need to do is trade small size, get used to it, build that buffer. And then once you start building a process and once you start being able to trade consistently, then you could start to scale up, right? I say start with 1 micro. And if you trade good for 2 or 3 weeks, then go to 2 micros. And if you trade good for another 2 or 3 weeks, then 3 micros. And the most common feedback I get is like, that's so boring. I'm never going to get to a payout there. I can't reach my goals. I'm like, you got to realize, eventually you want to be making, you could easily make more than a doctor, right? You can eventually make
exponential.
More than so much. And people are patient to go to a 2-year college or a 4-year college or longer without making any money, actually going in debt, but then showing the patience just to trade 1 micro for a month. People don't have it because they see the social media, they see these big payouts, they see all this money that people are showing on social media, and they want some of that. They cannot trade 1 micro for a month, trade 1 micro for 2 months, 3 months, and then follow that same process and then switch to 2 micros and try and do that for 2 or 3 months. And if you show that same consistency, then increase it again. And then just small steps, because from 1 micro to 2 micro, you're doubling your size. And then eventually you'll get it to where, wow, I'm now in a mini, 1 mini. And you're doing that same exact process, It's hard to do. It is. It's hard for me to do. It's hard for me to take a step back as well. But it doesn't matter where you're at in your journey, whether you've traded for so many years or you're brand new, you have to show that discipline.
Yeah. I saw Hoag in the chat. He said 2 words, trade location.
2 words, trade location. Trade location. Hoag's awesome. I've been talking to him throughout this as well. The ups and downs.
Yeah, I tuned into that mindset session today.
Yeah, how was it?
And I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched probably 30 minutes of it. And it was, the thing I pulled out of it is the losses. My losses are paying for information from the market. That was one of the things Hoag said, and I like that.
Your losses are paying. Say that again.
For information, the losses I take are paying for information from the market.
Okay, your losses are paying from information you take from the market.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's how he was explaining it was when you take that loss, you're paying you're paying for the information, as like you might be able to pick up a pattern as to why you're losing.
I get that. I get it. It's like, there's another saying that's very similar to that, where it's like you have to learn from those mistakes, right? And if you're not learning and you're just repeating them over and over again, like you're doing all that for nothing. Because it's painful when you take a loss. It is. And it doesn't matter whether it's in a combine or anywhere else. Those psychology sessions are amazing. Topstep puts it on TV for free. Brett Steenbarger, man, there's been some amazing sessions, and it's all recorded on YouTube. I watched all of them. That's definitely one that I'm gonna go back and watch.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go back and rewatch that entire thing. I have a bunch of side classes of myself, so.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. How's your Nasdaq trade doing? Are you still in that short?
Yeah, it's pretty much break even. It's not doing a whole lot. Might close it, might not.
There's a big order. You see that big order sitting up at 920.
I don't, because I don't pay for the data.
Okay, here I'll show everybody. Look at that. That's a big order. Coach Jay shared this, I think, at the close or at the buzzer, or one of those 920 or 900 contracts sitting at 920. That's a big order for the Nasdaq. So I'm curious if we're going to come up and fill that. It's sitting at 920. I tip you. I've seen some big orders at night. Not that big though.
There's been some recent ones that have been pretty big. There was another one. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
I mean, I've seen like 200 contracts, 300. I've seen some of the bigger ones are like 400 or 500, but this is 900. That's huge.
Order.
I'm curious if it's going to get filled. I know Jay was saying that at the close, during that 1 hour period, there was some big orders that were getting filled.
I was watching the CVD at close, and there was a large amount of buyers coming in, and the market just was not moving up.
Do you see these big 900 contracts orders coming in on that when they get filled? That what you watch? What is it? Bookmap?
Yeah, Bookmap.
Okay. Yeah, when you're watching Bookmap and an order comes in that's 900 contracts, do you see that contract number, or do you just see a big bubble?
So there's two different ways to look. Like Bookmap has limit order data, so you'll see a heat map of all the orders sitting at a certain level, or you can set it where you're just seeing the volume. You don't have to have the heat map. I don't really look at the heat map too much.
Got it. Yeah, I don't really look at anything other than that. I have the level 2 data, and I really use it for just seeing these big orders. Do I make a decision around those big orders? Not really, but I mean, if we go up and fill it and then completely reject, that might tell you something. The fact that it came on, I don't know how long it's been on there. I don't know how long that 900 contract has been there. Maybe somebody in the chat, if you've been watching it, I'm curious if they put the 900 contracts on the book when the Nasdaq was up here at 913, and then it spooked the market back down. But it looks like maybe we got that pullback where we got the pullback. I'm curious if we're gonna continue up and go fill those. If we fill those tonight during slow markets, that would be something else.
Yeah. There's another thing you can do on Bookmap too. You can see if it's an individual, like just one person or institution's placing that order, or if it's multiple different orders.
Okay. So like this 900 contracts, you could break it down to see if it's like,
yeah, you could break it
like 300s or just one big 900 contract.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are past the top of the hour, so we are 6 minutes past the top of the hour, and we are not seeing any more movement here in gold. We tried to break out, and we're pushing back down below this 82 level. We got as high as 84, so markets are kind of quiet tonight. Are you looking at anything else other than that Nasdaq short? 'Cause
Maybe
I'm
some
not
gold
seeing it.
longs, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of a quiet market right now. I'd maybe look at longs on gold, but
Okay.
it needs to. I'd like to, if it could come down to 78 or 79, maybe take a stab at it. I would close my Nasdaq trade though for that.
Yeah, you don't want to get in too much. So on that, last time you were saying Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday, right? You said that you've been getting in some difficult positions overnight, and so you kind of shied away, or you've slowed down at trading.
It's not necessarily like difficult positions. It's just I'm taking too many trades in the overnight. So like this is the second trade I've taken. So I'm fine with that. As long as there's some sense in the trades that I'm taking, I'm not chasing or FOMOing into the market, then I'm fine. I'm fine with this trade. I'm fine with the trade I took before this.
Okay.
It's just more so number of trades.
Got it. So you're fine with taking trades during slow markets. It's just the number of trades, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have to make sense.
Okay. That makes sense to me. I didn't know if you were referring to like, man, I just struggled during the overnight session, so I'm just not going to trade it. Or if, like you said, you take like 3 trades during the overnight, then 3 in the London, or 3 in like the New York. Just too many trades throughout the day.
Yeah. I did close that Nasdaq short. I do like longs on gold. We are at the VWAP. I just missed my entry. Overnight VWAP.
Gold. Here, I'll switch back to your chart. You're looking at the VWAP, which is the white line?
Yeah, we're right at that VWAP for just overnight session because it adjusts as it, like this was last night's overnight VWAP.
Okay.
So it adjusts on a daily basis.
Yeah, every single day at the open, not the New York session open, the day open, or what time is it? 5 p.m. Central is when the new day starts. Markets are closed for 1 hour every day. Yeah, I like longs on gold as well, but we'd have to get back above 82, 33.82, and then we have that pivot just above 84. Nasdaq's not really doing anything, and I got that music. I got that music playing. If it's too loud, let me know if you can't hear it.
I can barely hear it, so it's fine.
Okay, good.
I just tried to enter on gold, and realized I was on Nasdaq.
Okay.
In my dome.
You're still in the Nasdaq trade, right?
No, I closed it.
Okay. Was that a scratch or? Oh, I see green on the screen.
Yeah, that was from previous trade. So that last trade was scratch.
Okay. You had a trade before that Nasdaq tonight?
Yeah, I had longs, but just like 10 points, 10 or 20 points, something like that.
Got it.
I'm going to try gold here. Just going to get this. Just going to put stop at these lows where we've been bouncing constantly.
That is the session lows, right? Those 77s?
Yes.
Okay. I agree with you on this one. I can see gold if we do start to catch a bid above 84 now. Like I said, I like 3,400. I like 3,400 as a target on gold. I mean, it's a ways there, but it's very much doable.
3,400. All the way back up here.
Yeah, but
I just looked for 390. 3,390.
Yeah, that's more reasonable. Yeah, there's a lot of support and resistance on that. 3,400 is just a big round number, and I know markets love to hang out there. But nice. Very slow. Very slow. We didn't see much volume, and we haven't seen a lot of volatility come in at the top of that hour. I thought we'd see a lot more here in gold, especially after inflation number, and it's Friday. It's Friday's price action.
Yeah, not much going on. Nasdaq's still just chilling. Dow is ripping.
Dow is ripping. I don't.
Dow hasn't broken all-time highs yet either.
Okay. Do you watch the Dow at all when you're trading?
I've been watching it recently because there's been some really clean setups on it. I haven't traded it in a long time.
Okay, I don't think I've ever traded the Dow. I've traded some on the ES because, like you said, comparing them to the Nasdaq, the ES is a lot more tamer and the setups can be a little bit more clean comparing it to the Nasdaq. But yeah, it's just been gold and Nasdaq for me. Never looked at the Dow.
Yeah, I haven't either. I mean, I've started looking at it. Just the setups are really clean on it. Same system that I use on Nasdaq. I've seen pretty much perfect trades play out the last few days.
Well, when we was in Chicago, there was a Dow pit. We seen a Dow pit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a pit for almost everything. That was, I mean, it wasn't a big pit. I think there was like
They had a Russell pit too.
they had a Russell pit. It was the S&P was the bigger pit, and these are like live pits. Baron and I went to when we were in Chicago, we seen a little sneak peek, and it was pretty cool to see. It's not dead, but it makes you kind of, at least for me, it made me realize like, okay, we're just looking at numbers on the screen, but it's pretty cool to see since I've never seen anything like that. That gold trade's looking okay.
It's sitting at break even. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
It's $200 a risk, so.
You're in 5.
I think that's another thing where I can put these trades on, and now it's not that I don't care about them, but it's much, not necessarily stressful, but it's like, okay, if I lose $200, I know I can make it back.
Makes sense. I get that a lot from traders who size down. They're less emotional. Like I don't want to say they're careless, but they care a lot less about the result of an individual trade, and it's allowed them to focus more on the process. Like, hey, I'm going to place this trade. This is where my stop loss is going to go. I don't care about the result because I know it's not a big loss compared to like, hey, I'm not blowing my account in a trade, or I don't have a huge drawdown I have to dig myself out of. Is that same type of feeling that you have now with these 5 micros?
Yeah, it's just much more calm than, trying to get back certain losses.
So you feel like you could just let it just go and not really care about the results.
I mean, I could leave this on overnight and not really worry about it.
Is that new to you? Is that new to you?
No, I mean, I've done it before. It's been a while since I've done it, so definitely just taking it. I mean, when I took a step back in January, and how I initially got into my live account was I was looking at it, and so I was using 150Ks, and then I switched over to 50Ks, and I just cut my size. All I did was cut my size from my standard size from 3 minis to 1 mini, and that's when I started going on a run. And then once I had the buffer, then I sized up.
Okay.
So
okay,
same process.
So just building that buffer. Once you get that buffer, then you're able to scale up and then kind of take it from there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of who said. Was it Lance who might have said that? I'll have to go double check. But yeah, I believe it was Lance who came on Topstep TV in the morning and had a conversation with MP, and that was part of what he was saying is, some of the traders that are able to take it from, making hundreds of thousands to, 7 figures or more, do something very similar. And it's more of a psychological thing, and it's something that will help. And I'm going to be trying to implement that a little bit more in my personal trading as well, where you build that buffer, and the profits that you're able to make, trading, a more conservative style where you're not risking very much. You take those profits and then you're able to scale up and use them in a more aggressive manner. And so it's like, okay, these are your A plus setups. This is my bread and butter, my base hits. And as you start to build that buffer with those base hits, you're able to use that to be a little bit more aggressive on some not very low, but lower probability setups that have a higher reward. And so that was an interesting conversation. And I'm going to try and implement that as well. So it's like, a couple $100 here, a couple $100 here, just base hits, and those profits I'll be able to put towards like, hey, I'm going to trade this setup. It's not an A plus setup, but the reward could be much greater because of the higher volatility.
Yeah. No, I mean, I see the same. Like, I think that's another part of it. I just need to be going for these base hits. Not trying to get a home run every single trade.
If I could take back all the trades I let turn around and go against me because I was wanting just a little bit more, I would have a lot more money, man.
Yeah.
Just I know last December it seemed like most of the trades that I took losses on, I could have just taken profits for like 15 points. And these are because my average position size typically in the live account was about 5 minis, right? 5 minis, and then in the money 15 points. That's $1,500. And I was looking for like 25 points, 30 points. But then in December, I went through that, and it was about $100,000 worth of difference, where the trade was 15 points in the money, and then I was either getting stopped out at break even, or it would run and I would end up taking a loss on the trade. And it was just like, damn, if I just took 15 points, then man, like that's $1,500, and not just $1,500. It's also maybe $1,500 the other way, because instead of $1,500, in the green, you're taking $1,000 loss or something. So
yeah,
it's exponential when it comes to that. Base hits. I need to get better with that, for sure. Day trading, base hits are just very important. Gold is pushing back down towards these lows.
I know, it might stop me out.
Yeah, we failed to hold above the 82s. Always at the back of my mind. And it's one of those demons, the emotional, psychological ones, where I'm always thinking, stop loss is a better entry? Is the stop loss a better entry? And is this one? And then there's been a few times where I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait. And then the trade just takes off. I'm like, man, that would have been zero drawdown.
Yeah. I mean, I'll sit in it, but we'll see if it stops me. It turns around. It's, I mean, how much risk is this? 4 points on gold. So I know gold can run.
It could bounce. It could bounce where we could drop and then completely recover. And then it could just sell off. We could just fall through. Nasdaq's looking a little heavy again.
Is it?
Yeah. We just kind of chopping around those 90s.
Yeah, it's kind of ranging.
Mm-hmm. Going through this, answering some of these questions. Man, there's so many questions that these traders are asking. Let's see. Give me just 1 second. Are you seeing anything else? Is there anything that you would do differently in this gold trade?
Maybe just wait on the entry a little bit.
Okay. I got some questions for you, Baron.
I mean, I said I would like for it to dip to 79, 78, and that's where it's at right now. So
Okay.
This is where the entry should have been.
That's where the, yeah, I remember. I was gonna say that. I'm like, oh, you said you was taking a stab when we got down here at that level.
Yeah, it was bouncing off that VWAP. I was like, yeah, it looks like it's bouncing off the VWAP. Take a stab at it.
Yeah, now we're getting it. We got that price. We got that price. But okay, here's a question for you. Wednesday we were talking about taking a break, right? Taking a break from the markets, taking a break from trading. Have you got to do that yet?
No, I haven't. I didn't stream today, which I thought was good. And then tomorrow's TopstepTV. Yeah, I do need a break here at some point. I just need to figure out where to do it.
When will you take that break? This weekend? What does a break look for you?
A break would be like a week off, I think.
What would you be doing?
I think just relaxing.
Just relax. So exhausted, like not even up to just go to a party or go travel. You're just.
No, I mean, like, I've been doing that. I've been doing that on weekends. Like, all friends back in Dallas who would go out and all of that. So I'd do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of break, I think of, like, extended, like, 1 week or 2 weeks off.
Okay. Yeah. Coach Jay says weekend breaks don't count. Yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, the weekend's nice, right? That's kind of a one and a half day worth of like relaxation. For me, it's like catching up with like a lot of people. Just, hey, I need to been doing laundry. I put off laundry for a week. It doesn't. Yeah, that's a whole lot different than during the week because Sunday a lot of the stores are closed, so you can't really go out and do anything very much anyway. At least here in Utah, everything's closed on Sunday, so you can't really do much then. But just go somewhere, relax for a week, and then how nice would it be to just be completely disconnected from the markets, not even thinking about the markets for an entire week? Like that to me is a true break where you don't even think about the markets, don't even think about anything. When's the last time you've done that?
Probably December last year.
December? Like what,
yeah.
Christmas?
Yeah, Christmas last year.
Jeez, wow. Yeah, you need one. You need it, man. You need it. Maybe I fly out there to Florida. I told you, when you're settled down, I'm gonna fly out there to Florida. Are you settled in?
Yeah, I might go out to LA for a week.
Oh. I know why you're going to LA.
Yeah.
I know why you're going to LA. Is she coming to Florida yet?
No, she goes to Chicago tomorrow, and then I think New York, and then Miami.
Oh wow. So Chicago, New York, and then are you gonna meet her in Miami?
I might pull up to Miami. We'll see.
You got to. She's on the other side of the United States, man. You're in Florida. She's in California. You moved further away.
I did.
And so if she's in Miami, you gotta go see her.
Yeah, I gotta pull up.
Go take a week off. Fly out there to California and just spend a week. She's a flight attendant?
No, she's doing press tours right now.
Press tours. Okay. You might have to do some press tours with her.
Maybe we'll see.
You put that it's like, who's this guy? And you can say, I provide liquidity for one of the largest financial markets in the entire world. What do you?
I manage 300K at a $1 billion company.
Oh man, I'm an influencer. I still struggle with going on a date and saying like, what do you do for a job? I think, I still, because they always ask questions, right? Like, oh, what do you do? What does that look like? I'm finance.
Just say you're in finance. Just say you're in finance, or you're in the markets.
Well, I do, but then I went on a date with this one girl, and she was also in finance, and she kept asking questions. I'm like, I don't want to. All right, okay, I'm a teacher, and then I think I found the ultimate one. I think I just like, I'm in marketing. I'm in marketing. I don't know. I don't want to be that person that says I'm an influencer.
If you're in marketing, Dakota, you need to go out and get a Lambo.
I need to go. I'm a horrible marketer. I think, but to be honest, I think at the end of the day, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher first, and conversation kind of goes a little bit something like this. Like, oh, what do you teach? And I'm like, I help traders in the financial markets. They want to learn how to day trade the markets and manage risk. And I've been doing that, and that's what I do. I choose to help them and help myself too.
Yeah. Did you end up getting a new car?
No, dude. The insurance company, they called me yesterday, and they're like, hey, we're gonna total your car. I think it was yesterday, the day before, because the airbags went off. I'm like, okay, great. What does that look like? And they're like, we'll send you your options this week. And so I'm waiting to hear back from them. So they could I guess they're just going to write me a check for whatever the car's value is. But I got a rental car, and I've just been driving around a rental car. I haven't decided. I'm indecisive on getting a new car. I don't know. Any suggestions, man?
I mean, you had a Honda Civic before, so like, I don't know what kind of car you want. Dakota, you want something zippy?
I mean, this Honda Civic is it's hard to replace it, but the rental car I'm using is like a nice little SUV. It's a little bit bigger than my Honda Civic. There's a lot more space in it. I like it. I'm not picky, man. I'm not one of those where it's like, oh, this is.
You get something fun. A fun daily driver.
Man, my Honda. It's hard to replace a Honda Civic. It's old, reliable.
It's really not, Dakota. It's really not.
Great gas mileage. The only thing I've ever needed to put money into it, other than gas, is oil changes and a new set of tires.
You could get a Toyota Corolla GR. Do you know what that is?
No idea. Let's look it up.
It's a little hatchback. It's a little hatchback with a 6-speed, and they make like 300 horsepower. They're a little.
No, I'm not. You're not gonna catch me in that one. No,
They're cool.
I'm fine.
They're like a little mini rally car.
Yeah, that looks like the car that
on the dirt roads.
That my Honda.
This trade's coming back. This trade is coming back.
Yeah, you're in the green.
Yeah.
What price did you get in?
388 1.8.
818?
Or 338 1.8.
Okay, 818. Okay, 8.8. Nice. Yeah, this gold's looking good now. The fact that we rejected those where you wanted to get in first.
Yeah, I should have waited for the trade location.
Hey, what did Hoag just say in the chat too? Where's Hoag?
Good.
Shout out to you, Hoag.
Good,
2 words.
Trade
location.
I know. I feel like with the micros, you can have a decently wide stop, so the location doesn't need to be perfect. But yeah, I need to be better on that.
Me too, man. What I part of one thing, if I struggle in these XFAs, the one thing I need to get back to is scaling in, because one thing is trade location is hard. There's no exact in these markets, and everything's a zone. And what I used to do really well at was building a position, starting with smaller size. For like this gold trade, for example, get in like, if you're getting in 5 micros, I'd get in like 1 micro, and then a second, and then a third, and then a fourth, and then a fifth. And then I'd end up having, it's not DCAing, right? It's just like building a position. And then like the final one would be the last entry is going to be closer to that 79 level. And so I would have like an average price, because I know I'm not going to catch the exact bottom. And then I know that I'm going to at least get some drawdown, like very rarely would I have a trade that gets 0 drawdown unless it's like a very solid breakout trade. And so I was really good at that for quite some time, that I've been considering getting back into once I start getting some buffer, or if I go through a cold streak in these XFAs. And but we'll see how it plans out. But yeah, over the past little while, like I said, I've been talking to Hoag. Hoag's been great to have conversations with, trying to get back into these XFAs. And then I've been actually reviewing some of my old trading on TopstepTV. The nice thing about trading on air is it's like a journal. It's like a journal.
Yeah, I need to go back and look at some of that probably. I mean, I've got a bunch of live recordings of me trading. So I've probably got like 200 hours of me live trading recorded.
Oh wow. There you go. Yeah, because it was very helpful. I went on to Topstep's the YouTube channel. I looked at, a year and a half ago when I first started trading on air, and I first got on to number 1 on the leaderboard, and I was watching some of those videos. I'm like, okay, wow, that was like really back to the basics of where I was scaling in and building a position and letting those runners go. And almost every single trade I was watching me take was to the long side. I'm like, man, this is the same type of market environment, hitting all-time highs the same time basically last year. And I was just so frustrated at myself. I'm like, wow, I should be able to have duplicated that this spring and summer, because this is a very similar market environment, just all-time high, and very bullish. Yeah. And my failure to do so has been a little bit frustrating myself. I'm happy that I made it back to my XFAs. And I told traders it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when that I'm going to struggle in these. Odds are I'm going to struggle in these XFAs. Like, that's the reality. I don't go back. I'm taking a step back from a reason, because I've been struggling. And when you take a step back, you don't just, wave the magic wand and say, boom, you're perfect now and you're a great trader. You're going to go on and pass combines and XFAs and get into a live account without any bumps in the road or hurdles. I'm definitely going to have some hurdles. I took a loss on Wednesday, had a green day today. I mean, it's Friday. Maybe I take a loss today. Maybe, who knows? Hopefully it goes smooth, right? Knock on wood. But I'm going to struggle. I'm sure I'm going to struggle, but hopefully I can get back to that type of trading style. I watched some of those videos and feel like I'm a shell of myself, man, when it comes to my trading.
I feel it. It's like, I don't know. I mean, this year it's been great. I've shown a level of consistency, but then July just kind of fell apart. So, what do you do there? You have to just go back to it really is going back to the basics, reviewing everything over again, just seeing what made you successful, what made you get to that area you were at. And I've had imposter syndrome for the past like 2 weeks. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah, trust me, man. Coach Jay and I, we've talked about that for a little bit. I talked about it with Coach Jay for most of last year, where I was telling Coach Jay, I said, hey, I'm not the best day trader. When I started here at Topstep, I made sure that was very clear from the beginning. I told everybody since day one, I'm not the best day trader. I'm just, in my opinion, average. I'm really good at stocks and options. That's where I make my living. I understand, pretty good with these technical analysis and risk management. And I really enjoy helping people as a coach. And then when I first started and I got to the leaderboard and I got to number 1, and then all suddenly everybody's like, the nickname Dakota. I'm like, okay, what the heck is this? And things happen so fast. I'm like, I'm not this guru who's this amazing trader. I've never claimed to be. And so I've had conversations of that imposter syndrome. I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a great trader. But I try and demonstrate, maybe as good as I can, good trading. And that's what I'm doing this journey for, to just demonstrate, hey, I'm a normal trader just like everybody else. And here's me trying my best at going through it in front of you with the transparency.
Yeah, I mean, I had imposter syndrome even at my day job back then. So
Interesting.
It's just something that happens. For people who don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's essentially you're in a spot that you don't feel like you should be in. So like you got into either an area of work, or most of the time people use it in like work environments where it's like, well, I got to this new job title or whatever it is, but I feel like I don't deserve it. And it's essentially you're discounting the work that you put in to get to that area because it feels like you're not accomplishing anything at the new area.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. The funny thing is, what I did previously, Baron, was supply chain. I had a team in Vietnam, a team in China, and a team in Mexico, and I had zero imposter syndrome. I'm like, wow, I have, this huge team that I'm over, and like, it was funny to think, because I'm 31 now, and I was like 26, 27, 28, and like 5 guys in my Mexico team, they're in their 30s and 40s, and they're answering to like a 26-year-old guy here in Utah. And it's like, do I fly down there in Mexico? And like, what do they think? And like, it was weird, but I've never felt as much of like that feeling, that imposter syndrome, as I do here, because it's like, sometimes I look and people think that I'm a better trader than what I think I am. And then looking back at myself, like seeing how well I was trading, last year, I'm still showing, I trade pretty well. I got to these XFAs. Don't get me wrong. You gotta give yourself a pat on the back. When sometimes when you trade good. I mean, look at this gold. Like, look at this gold. Amazing trade.
It's looking good.
But we are our own worst critics, right? There's not a bigger critic than ourselves. And of course, we get the occasional troll in the chat. But yeah, I've been through it. I've went through it a few times, up and down. I've had some really deep conversations with Coach Jay regarding it too. But from what I could tell, man, you are a great trader, and I will dare say that you are a better trader than I am in some aspects.
Yeah, I was talking with someone in my Discord because they were like, "Oh, I voted for Dakota." And I'm like, "I don't care. I voted for Dakota." I think it was you said you were voting for me, so I was like, "I'll just vote for Dakota too."
Okay.
Like, I don't care. But I mean, even if we get into the live, what do we get for winning? We get 5 free resets. We're in a live account. Doesn't matter anyway. But they were saying I voted for Dakota because I've never seen Dakota go on tilt. And I was like, that's a good point. When I do go on tilt, it's usually pretty bad.
Here's the thing is, I'm good at masking my emotions. I go on tilt. Don't get me wrong. I go on tilt. I've gotten pretty good at masking my emotions, especially like on air. And then trying not to allow myself to click the button. I was actually talking last night where Daniel Negreanu, famous poker player, he was asked the question, and I'm just gonna repeat what I said yesterday. They asked the question like, "Hey, you're the best poker player in the world, maybe one of the greatest poker players that ever lived. How do you keep your emotions out of your poker?" And he says, you can't. It's unhuman to not be emotional. We're humans. We're emotional creatures. The key is not reacting and not doing an action based off those emotions, and being able to identify when you're being emotional. So I like to think that I'm pretty good at identifying when I'm being emotional, and then just not.
It's like another form of indicators.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. That's why I had my heart rate on just so it's something I'm still doing. I have my heart rate monitor on, and I've been monitoring and saying, hey, is this something I could identify as, like you said, an indicator? If my heart rate spikes up, am I in a bad position, or is there something I'm doing that I could improve my trading that maybe I cannot identify myself?
I've one of those as well. I lost the charging battery for it, so I need to buy another one. But
I know.
I don't look at the heart rate. I look at the stress monitor.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But
great bull trade, man.
Have you I mean, it's looking decent so far. Don't know if it's a winning trade till it's TP, or I take it off, or it hits stop loss if it's a losing trade. But have you read Jared Tendler's book?
I have not. Okay.
Yeah, because he has one on poker. He has one on trading as well. But he talks about in it, you shouldn't be trying to control your emotions around trading. It should be you should be identifying them and recognizing what behavior comes out in regards to that emotion.
Yeah, I love that. That's exactly what it is. It's like, if you can identify when you feel FOMO and then what you do when you feel that, then you could learn to be preventive from doing what that action is, that harmful. A lot of times you don't know until after the harm has already been done. Unfortunately, where it's like, dang it, I went on tilt, and you don't notice you went on tilt until after your account's blown. And then you're just like, if I only knew earlier, then I could have just used the lockout button. But that's not the case, man. That's this trading thing, man. We're athletes. We're continuing to improve, and no matter
it's more like mental athletes.
Exactly. Right? Yeah.
Like you would compare like chess or esports or whatever it is. Like
correct.
I wouldn't put the term athlete on it, but I am. I'm so unathletic. I'm super clumsy. I'm pretty tall too, and people are like, "Did you ever play basketball?" I'm like, "No, I'm a clumsy mess." So, yeah, I won't be putting the athlete term on myself just because.
I will. I'll put the athlete term on you. You don't need to be able to run fast 100-mile or 100-yard dash to. We're mental athletes, right? And we're competing against. I mean, this is the biggest competition there is in the world, right? One of the most competitive things that we could do. It's the world's biggest financial markets. I just said that, and people are putting millions, if not billions of dollars to find ways to beat these markets, and we're participating in it. And we are athletes, just trying to get some profits. So we definitely are, even if we can't. We can't run a mile in less than 10 minutes or 12 minutes, but we are coming up to the end.
A mile in 10 or 12 minutes?
How long does it take you to run a mile? I could do it. Fastest I done it was like 9 minutes, I think. I haven't timed myself in a while.
I could do an 8-minute mile.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not much of a runner. I should be. It's more of a longevity thing than a speed. I don't know. Maybe I need to go time myself running a mile and then judge.
Yeah, people. So since I've been over trading, and I mean, I looked at my stats today and didn't really do it, but there were some trades I definitely should have taken, so I consider it over trading. But what I've been doing is, some people were saying go run a mile every time you overtrade. Every day that I overtrade and I see, I'm going to be the one who says oh, I overtraded here. I'm giving out a combine. I'm just doing a raffle for a combine.
Okay.
Every day I'm giving away a combine.
Okay, so let me make sure I heard that right, Baron. Is if you overtrade, then you're going to go ahead and just give away a combine. So that's kind of like your punishment.
Yeah.
Or you're rewarding your community. And they're going to keep you honest. They're going to be on you. If they think you're over trading, they're gonna get at you.
Yeah, so I gave one away today and one yesterday. So
okay, I like that. I might have to do something. Yeah, I like that idea. and that will definitely keep the traders going to be watching you there for sure to make sure you stay disciplined when it comes to that aspect.
Part of it, but yeah, it's it's like I went on live stream today and I was like I didn't stream in the AM, but I did a PM stream.
Okay.
I was like, all right, let's look at the stats, and I was like, I mean, I took good trades today and I was up, and I didn't take nearly as many trades as I was, so cut down that. Listen to some advice from JD and all that. But I did take some unnecessary trades that I shouldn't have taken. There was no reason for taking them. If there's a reason for the trades and I'm following my rules, then yeah, it makes sense. But typically I have a 2 trade rule where it's if I have a trade idea, I'll give it 2 attempts and usually throw it out the window.
I like that.
And if I don't follow that, then that's breaking my rules. That's part of it. So gotta stick to it.
I like it, man. Any last words? Great trade here on gold. It was looking a little questiony or iffy there for a moment. We went down to where you wanted to get in originally and just completely bounced off it. So great trade. Beautiful trade. Any last words before we end it? And we will be on tomorrow morning. So we will be back at it, trading it up during the New York session.
We will be. Slow down to speed up. Here's a great book I've read. Discipline is Destiny, and that's one of the chapters. So.
Okay. Ooh. Slow down to speed up. I like that. That's a great way to end it. So thank you again, Baron. I appreciate it. I always love Thursdays. Competitive with you. We're competing. This is a competition, but at the end of the day, off the court, like I said, anything that I could do to help you out, vice versa. We are in this together. And yeah, go get a nice good night's sleep, and I will see.
I know.
you.
I made some food before this, so sitting there waiting for me.
Yeah, go eat, man. Take care, everybody,
right.
and I'll see you then.
Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.